time for NRCS Partyline today for your Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2022. NRCS Partyline brought to you by Wimmer Opticians of St. Cloud, Chiropractic Connection of St. Joseph. It is cloudy. It is 25 degrees. Our forecast says we should see a high today. Pretty close to where we're at right now. Maybe up to 29 yet. Otherwise, clouds. Tonight down to 5. Ooh. 5 tonight, clouds. And then tomorrow, 21, and more clouds. Oh, guess what? Thursday night, clouds and maybe some snow. But for right now, it's 25. My name is Brad Melke. Good morning. In studio with us from the Soil and Water Conservation District, it's Dennis Fuchs. And from the Natural Resources Conservation Service, Chris Hogge. Dennis and Chris, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the studio on this March the 2nd.
Well, my gosh, that is very nice.
Is that formal enough for you?
Yes. Wow, okay. And it's great for us to be here. Actually, the roads weren't too bad coming here. Chris wiped out in the parking lot.
I did not wipe out in the parking lot.
What happened,
only went
Chris?
Down to a knee, I saved my coffee, so that was all that matters.
True. He did save his coffee.
Oh, good.
And if anybody knows Chris, you don't mess with his coffee.
No, I need my coffee in the morning so I can deal with Dennis.
And the hat stayed on and everything? The hat didn't come off?
Hat stayed on, everything. I was good. Just knocked the knee on the ground. I tried to make it look cool. It was difficult, but, I tried my best.
Well, as long as Dennis was the only witness, then, so your word against his kind of a thing.
Pretty much, and I just basically said that I'd done it. So
well, you kind of, you were honest. Sure.
So it is what it is, and yes, there are a few slick spots out there. So
be careful, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, especially on the sidewalks. So.
They got just a dusting of snow, so you don't know if there's ice under there or not. And Chris just showed that you got to be careful out there.
Well, I wanted to take it for the team, because I'm all about the team. So I didn't want Dennis. I didn't want Dennis at his age to fall like that because he could break a hip or something. And
you bounce right back up, Dennis. Not so much.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's probably right.
I'd have to probably pick him up off the ground, and then it just. So it was just better that I did that.
Good. All right.
Well, we do have a Pheasants Forever Banquet coming up on Saturday, and just looking at the forecast, it looks like we got a little bit of mixed precipitation coming in on Saturday, but it's going to be right here at the Holiday Inn in St. Cloud, and it's going to be nice and warm and toasty inside. And if you guys would like to check that out, and when I say guys, I should say
shame
people.
On you. Yeah,
because I use guys as a gender-neutral term. Our organization, the Pheasants Forever Chapter of Stearns County, appreciates all members, and the more we have, the better it is. And male or female, please join us. But I want to just talk a little bit about that because we're going to be honoring our outstanding conservationists. That's one thing we really appreciate with our local Pheasants Forever Chapter. They always recognize our previous year's outstanding conservationists. And this in 2021 was Steve and Cheryl Schlungen. And they farm just south of Albany here, between Albany and Farming. And they will be recognized at the banquet. And if you're interested in attending that banquet, you can still register online. And just go to stearnspf.org, and there's a link right there to get registered. And it starts at about 5 o'clock. And there's going to be a variety of raffles. This is one of the ways the chapter generates funds to help with habitat improvement projects and education, outreach, trap shooting for local schools. And all of the money generated at the banquet stays in Stearns County. That's one of the cool things about the Pheasants Forever chapters throughout the country is that money stays local. So any money that you donate at the event is used here locally. And some of the banquet items, in case you're curious, I wonder would it be worth my drive to go there or not? Include a 5-day Driftwood Lodge resort stay. They're going to be auctioning off 10 Henry Golden Boys, Winchester 101 Deluxe Field over and under. That's a beautiful shotgun right there. I wish I had that myself. We got a Kimber 1911 stainless .45 caliber gun. A couple more guns. We've also got hearing protection. And then Pep's Pork is also donating a cut and wrapped hog that they're going to auction off. And actually, I was the lucky winner of that last year. Had the highest bid, so I was able to enjoy that quality product from Pep's Pork. It's just fantastic work they provide there. And if you haven't had Pep's Pork, get a package of pork sausage. Oh, my God.
Man, you are a name dropper today.
Yeah,
wow.
it
Okay.
is so awesome.
All right.
Oh, and Chris Zemer, Zemer Labs, he's out of New London. He's donating a 9-week-old pointing lab puppy, and the winner of the auction for these puppies can choose either the male or female yellow lab.
Oh.
So we'll be auctioning that off, and Chris Zemer donated the puppy. He's been a longtime supporter of the chapter by providing pups, and these are pointing labs, which are very desirable trait in a lab. That's what I currently have as a dog. So once they get into some cover and identify a rooster, they lock up before they flush it, which gives me time to get ready to miss, and then I miss.
All right.
Yeah, well, that's just the way it goes, Doc. Got it. And so anyhow, there's going to be a lot of stuff they're going to be auctioning and chances to win, raffles, meat raffles going throughout the evening. Starts at 5 o'clock, and then dinner will be served at about 7 o'clock. We'll recognize the outstanding conservationists and some other important people throughout the community. And it's just a great opportunity to hang out with some other folks that enjoy hunting, habitat, and our natural resources. Hey, Chris, are you planning on making it to the event? I can't remember if you said you're going to make it or not.
Wow, way to put me on the spot on that one. Jeez. I guess since since he brought it up, I guess I'm going to be going to that. So yes, maybe I will be there. I don't know. I have to talk to my wife, see what she says, because you got to clear it with the boss.
I do have a spare ticket. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, well then there's a good chance I might.
I was going to say, what's the cost on it, or what's the cost factor?
You have to check online, and there's various membership levels that you can participate. If you just want to be an associate member with a couple tickets, $100.
Okay.
And that includes the membership to the Pheasants Forever organization. Mm-hmm. And there's more sponsorship levels up to $395 is the gold sponsor, which includes a frame print and 2 Banquet tickets. So if you get into the Stearns PF .org website, all of this information is available on there. So just go ahead and do that, and then you'll be able to get registered, and I hope to see you Saturday evening at the Pheasants Forever Banquet for the Stearns County chapter. And if you do...
March the what? This Saturday or the following? Okay,
Yep.
the 5th. All right,
March
gotcha.
5th. Yep.
Gotcha.
This Saturday. So, and if you do show up there and run across me, let me know you heard it on KASM Radio, because I like to report back to Randy and Brad and let them know that KASM Radio is reaching listeners like you won't believe.
Oh, wow. Rather than 4 or 5, we're going to have 7 or 8. I like it. That's great. Super.
We're all about growing
the audience,
and I'm sure they all are listening.
Yeah, all 7 of them today. One you had to call in, so that no. Okay. Anyway, besides that, Dennis and Chris, what else is going on?
I'm just gonna do the program portion of a little bit of it. So we're right now wrapping up the ranking for the equip applications that we received over 2021 for the 2022 sign up. They look as though we had 230 some odd applications, and we're getting those all wrapped up. The deadline for that is Friday, March 4th. So we're on good terms with that. The other thing that folks might want to know more about is CRP. CRP's general sign-up deadline is March 11th, and that is coming up right around the corner. That will be Friday of next week. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure Steve Frericks has probably talked about it in a number of different times, but that is coming up, and you need to talk with FSA. You can call them, or you can call the office, and Dennis will give the number.
320-251-7800, extension 3.
That's our office, and if you want to talk to FSA, it would be extension 2 for doing the CRP and getting those offers in. We also have some staff in our office, Jason Selvog and Ryan Rothstein, that will be willing to help them work their way through that to make sure they get the best benefit through CRP. So something to be thinking about. Putting together.
Have they been busy with a lot of folks coming in interested? Do you know?
There's been quite a few. There is an increase in soil rental rates for CRP, so that's made a little bit of a bump in participation, or at least offers. So we're looking to probably be maybe a little more consistent to what we were historically. Last year was a little low. This year, I think we should be probably up there. I think we were looking at maybe 80 or so, give or take a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out with the increase in some of the farming operation requirements like fertilizer and things like that, and how that's going to relate to what we would get enrolled in CRP. So we'll just have to see how things work out.
Yeah, that's very, very true, Chris. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
and you have regular people coming into the office? That's not an issue anymore? Or?
As far as the office goes, you can call, but FSA has a setup where they will meet you at the door. They have something that kind of blocks the door, but it's kind of an opening. NRCS on our side, the Soil and Water and NRCS office, we are still closed because we have no way to control entry into the office. We will be picking them up they'll come to the office and then we can pick them up at the atrium.
Very good. More for our Answers Partyline program after our news, 9:30 KASM Radio. More Answers Partyline this morning. My name is Brad Melke, visiting with Dennis Fuchs, administrator of the SWCD, and District Conservationist Chris Hogge of NRCS. Let's pick up where we left off, you two.
Yeah, let's talk about the office. So our office is closed to the public, but we're taking calls and meeting folks out in the atrium at Marketplace Mall. So it's been working, and we also meet out in the field to do that. But it looks like, because we follow USDA protocol for opening the office. And a few weeks ago, we could only have 25% staffing levels at our office, so that didn't result in a lot of staff in the office. Then it jumped up to 50% 2 weeks ago, and this week it jumped up to 75%. So that means the amount of COVID positive tests out there are decreasing over time, and we're hoping that we'll be at 100% staffing level, and the office will be opening sometime this spring. I don't know if, Chris, have you heard anything from USDA as far as any potential dates where that might happen?
We haven't. We haven't come out with any potential dates that I've heard of, at least at this time. But yeah, we are working with producers in the atrium or meeting them in the field, which has worked out very well for staff to meet out in the field and kind of gets our staff out there working with the producer out in the field with them so we can actually see what's going on. It kind of helps with the conservation implementation and applications that we get. We get to meet them and kind of talk with them and see what's going on out in the field rather than doing the reactive conservation in the field office where everybody comes in and talks to us. So it's actually been, I'm actually kind of happy that COVID came around when it did, so it kind of showed everybody that we can do this work out in the field with producers, and we can really make this work in whatever situation we're put into. So I think it really opened up a lot of eyes across the state when it comes to conservation planning and working with a producer in the field. We don't have to have them in the office to make it happen. We can go out and see them. So I think it's been a benefit for our jobs to kind of show our staff that they can do that. We can go out with a cell phone and a laptop and plan right out their kitchen table. So that's really good.
And I think as our landowners are getting more sophisticated with using the computer, the internet, even like our Farm Service Agency, a lot of the stuff is moving toward online. It's gradual. It takes time to get the programs and stuff set up online. It also takes a while for farmers and others to get up to speed. But I could see a day where a lot of that work is done online, and there's no need to come into the office to sign a document. And we're already moving that with some of the document signing software out there where farmers can do that from their computer, send it in, and you don't have to make that trip into Wade Park. So that's been very convenient. Yeah,
a lot of folks who have been working in programs have probably had conversation with Bonnie, and Bonnie is they call it Box One Span, and basically FSA and NRCS are now utilizing that to sign documents. It's kind of like if you've purchased a house lately, you just identify yourself and then go through the document and initial it. And,
or a car for that matter, too. Yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't know if it's the same program, but yeah, same thing.
I haven't bought a car in a long time, but that's kind of what we use.
Right.
And so just for an example, last year for CRP, we had 56 signatures in 5 days. And we were able to process all that paperwork and get it all done and meet the deadline. So I think it's been I mean, COVID was not a good thing for the community and everybody else, and it was very difficult, but it really opened our eyes as to what is possible to do and has expanded kind of our vision of what conservation planning can be with producers.
Forced efficiency.
Forced efficiency. There you go. That's a good word for it,
Or
because that
something like
was
that.
really what it was. We were basically in the office doing our normal thing, and COVID hit, and everybody was gone. And you
Yeah.
had to work from home, and it was really nice that our office we were all digital already. We were really working to get everything digital, so all the files and everything were all digital. So we didn't have a real huge issue. First couple of weeks took us a little while to get comfortable with it, but after that, then we were good to go.
Mm-hmm.
We should give listeners an update on some positions that we had opening for the Stearns SWCD in the West Central Technical Service area. We had two positions open, and they were formerly filled by Gary Borash, a WCTSA engineering tech. He worked a 12 SWCD area from Benton to Big Stone and was stationed at Wade Park. And then also we lost Nate Hilla, our project manager for the Stearns SWCD. Two excellent employees that moved on to pursue other interests. So that left two vacancies, and we did have those positions advertised here for a month, and we had interviews last week Friday for the WCTSA engineering tech, and also on Monday for the conservation planner. We have reorganized our office, where Mark Lefebvre is in charge of all the conservation planners, and Greg Berg is in charge of the implementation team, which includes Jason and Ryan and Kevin Carlson. Mark's in charge of Tessa, Megan, and Kelly, the conservation planners. And those folks, and did I say Megan? That's what I hate when I start using names, because I might forget somebody. But anyhow, we will be filling those positions. We identified some great candidates to fill, and we hope to bring those people on board in April. So we'll be getting some more technical assistance out there. The demand for technical assistance continues to grow at our office, so that is something that we're continuing to work on. We actually will be down at the Capitol next week visiting with some legislators about some opportunities to get additional state funding out to SWCDs, called SWCD Aid. And that would be through the Minnesota Revenue Office. And hopefully we can do that so that we can continue to provide the technical assistance and support that landowners are asking for.
Does that mean you're competing with other SWCD offices, or are you trying to get an equal piece of the pie?
That would be an equal piece of the pie. It would help all the soil water conservation districts in Minnesota. And currently, they're using some funds out of the Clean Water Legacy, which is project funds to help fund the capacity of soil water conservation districts, which would be great if we could use that for more projects, because the amount of projects out there is growing. As we do more conservation planning, we're identifying additional resource concerns that need to be addressed, and we're just running out of funds. Even though NRCS and others provide a significant amount of conservation dollars through the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, Conservation Stewardship Program, there's still a big void that the state and local governments are trying to fill.
So then, Chris, with NRCS, how does that work with with the SWCD? Are you competing for those? Is that a different pool of funds, or how does that work?
We work as a team, so it's kind of we provide cost assistance programs, such as Environmental Quality Incentive Program. That, as I've referenced before, is kind of a practice implementation type program. So if you have something that's like cover crops, nutrient management, ag waste projects, those kind of things, that's kind of what we use EQIP for. We can use there's also grazing. So there is some planning to I won't say whole farm planning, but it's like more of a management type thing where you've got grazing management, and an ag project can really be quite extensive. So EQIP can be utilized for those kind of things. And then we have CSP, which is the Conservation Stewardship Program. That's more for like a whole farm plan type deal, where you're dealing with not only your wildlife habitat, your farmstead, your cropland, and your pasture, and actually putting practices or enhancements on each one of those. or all of them to make sure that you're like addressing resource concerns across your farming operation. So that's kind of the two different approaches. And then, of course, CRP, and that's basically just enrolling everything kind of what I always call it farm the best, buffer the rest. That's really kind of what I use it for. So those would be areas that are kind of sit wet all the time. Mm-hmm. And you could put those into some sort of CRP program that maybe protect those areas, make them kind of restore them back into a wetland, sure. And then get them out of your farming operation, because basically all you're doing is throwing resources in there and not really getting much back out of it. So Those are kind of the programs we have, and I'm sure there's going to be more as we go. But
so, Chris, I was given an update on our vacancies here at the SWCD. Does NRCS have any additional information to share with the listeners on your vacancies?
It's interesting that you should bring that up, Dennis. It's almost like we planned that. But yes, NRCS has a number of vacancies. We have nationwide, we have 11,000 employees, and they're wanting us to up those to almost 14,000. So that's 3,000 new employees across the nation. So here in Minnesota, we have a number of them going to be opening up. They call it a direct hire opportunity, kind of like what we had last year. So I was just going to kind of go through some of the positions and just kind of talk about some of the qualifications for kids graduating from college, so they can be looking at what they have and seeing if they fit what is necessary. Mm-hmm. We do have a few more requirements with the agency than, say, the Soil and Water does, but it is nothing that's hidden by any means. But of course, as we're talking, everybody knows about the Pathways program. If you guys have listened at any point in time to Dennis draw on and on and on, there are a few knowledge nuggets that I kind of send out in between. But Pathways is a program for college students. So any college student that is in college right now, they can apply for the Pathways program, and that is it's competitive to get into it. But once you're into it, you spend 2 summers with the agency, you get your hours, and once you graduate and you have the requirements, then you get pretty much a non-competitive position. So
foot in the door.
It is a foot in the door, and it is not just it's not just like a grocery store job or a barista or a fast food. These are careers that you can walk right into, and you can you could honestly be the next state con in whatever state you like. Someplace maybe warmer.
There you go.
So, you don't have to stay in Minnesota. You can always go anywhere. I've moved from Iowa all the way to Minnesota. I was trying to bring my knowledge up here to share with Dennis.
Maybe your warmth too. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely my warmth, my warm personality.
Your warm personality.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So you can move anywhere with the agency. So it's a really great opportunity for kids who are graduating from college. They can really pretty much go just about anywhere, and they can get a job, and they can really work and move around within their careers. So some of the different options that once you get, if you did the Pathways, some of the different options that you have would be like a soil conservationist. That is what a majority of our staff is. They come in as they call it a 457, but it's a soil con. And basically what you have to have is a bachelor's degree or higher. And I believe most of these positions will need a bachelor's degree, but we'll go through them as we go. But a soil con, you need a bachelor's degree or higher. And you have to have related agricultural and natural resource disciplines such as agronomy, soil science, forestry, agricultural education, and agricultural engineering. The study must include 30 hours of natural resources or agricultural field, including 12 semester hours of a combination of soils and crops or plant science, of which 3 semester hours must be in soils and 3 semester hours must be in crop or plant science. So that's the soil science, or the soil conservationist has very specific requirements, and the soils and the plants are required. You will not be able to move into a position as a soil con without those. one of the really nice entry-level positions, if you don't go through the Pathways internship, is a soil conservation technician, which is how I started with the agency. And basically, you just need to know knowledge of farming operations with work experience that makes you familiar with conservation practices such as installing and maintaining soil and water conservation measures on farms, ranches, or agricultural land. Knowledge of installing, maintaining conservation measures and on public or private owned land, including parks, shoreland, refuse waste sites, dams, and etc. So basically, as a soil contact, it is our soil contact technician. That's kind of an entry-level position for folks, and you can get that position, and you can do it with a high school education, and you don't have to have a college degree for that one. So if you don't do the pathways, soil contact technician is another way that you can get into the agency and work your way up.
So if you don't have the required classes for the soil conservationist and you get into the soil conservation technician, the entry level, does NRCS provide the opportunity to get some of that education in soils and agronomy?
At this time, I do not believe they do. That might be your own cost. But anymore, in today's day and age, you can do a lot of your soils courses online and plants courses online. That's how I started. I actually have a degree in fisheries, wildlife biology, and environmental studies. Mm-hmm. And I did not have my soils, so I actually started my NRCS career as a while actually employed employee, Pheasants Forever, and SWCD employee. So that's how I started. Whoever had the money, that was who I was working for that day. And then my first official NRCS position was a soil con tech. And when I got that soil con tech, I started and took 2 semesters of soils and plants. And after that, I could apply for soil con, and then I applied and got the position. So you can do it even after your soil con tech, and it's not really hugely expensive to do those if you're interested in doing it. And they do it. You can do it from Iowa State because they provide online courses for soil.
Everybody does nowadays.
But Iowa State.
Oh my God, I'm getting ill.
Because Iowa State is where you go.
University of Minnesota, that's where it's at.
Hey, you can do it at University of Minnesota. There's some other ones that are out there. We are noticing that there are some colleges that aren't. There are a number of colleges that aren't providing, and the soils and plants, or the soils issue is developing or becoming more of an issue to get. So there may be a transition. I'm speaking way out of turn, but maybe if it's identified by the agency that it's an issue, maybe we would help cover. But at this point in time, we are not helping cover those costs of the classes. A couple of other ones that we have is an engineering tech, and basically that is somebody who would be looking at bigger projects such as an ag waste project, larger erosion control structures, and working with wetland restoration type stuff. And those folks, they have to have experience on a survey crew, and basically they have to have engineering experience and a degree in, they don't have to have a degree in engineering, but knowledge of engineering. So that's an opportunity for folks who, it's actually a step up from a soil con tech to a engineering technician. So you can kind of work that way. It gives you, what do they call that? Ladder. You can climb the ladder and step up in your career advancement. There you go. Thank you. Right. Another wisdom of knowledge from Dennis.
I'm glad I could help.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's why he sits in the big office.
There you go. All right.
And then a couple of other specialists that we have in the agency. One of those is a soil scientist. They require a bachelor's degree or higher in soil science or closely related discipline, and 30 semester hours of equivalent biological, physical, or earth science. A minimum of 15 semester hours in subjects that are basically soil-based. So you have to soil genesis, pedology, soil chemistry, soil physics, and soil fertility. So a soil scientist is very specific to soils, and that's really pretty much their job is they go and work with the soils across the state or across the country. And I know there's some positions that might be coming out with soil scientists. And then the other one that's really a nice one is a biologist. We have a number of biologists on staff, and basically they have a bachelor's degree or higher in biological science. This is a little bit, might be a little bit easier for folks to get into because there is no soil requirement for a biologist. So that is, you only have to have agricultural, natural resource management, chemistry, or other related discipline for this position, but you do have to have a bachelor's degree. So those are kind of the positions. Now, what do we have open? We have one or more of each of those positions open on the Waite Park customer service team, which is what I supervise. I have an opening, or soon to have openings, for a soil con in Elk River, and probably 2 or 3 opening soil cons in Waite Park.
Soil conservationist.
Yes, soil conservation.
So you hire for Elk River too, or is that how that works? Or?
Yeah, I don't hire, but I will run the interviews or work the interviews.
Okay.
My supervisor is the hiring official for
Who's in Elk River?
No, he is in Duluth.
Oh.
So they make the decision, and then the state con puts the final offer to it.
I didn't realize it was all that.
Conservationist.
Yeah, the state conservationist.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I do a lot of acronyms, but no, my team.
Translator over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know my listener friends out there are like, what? We got another convict?
Yeah. Dennis is the NRCS interpreter.
There you go.
But my team extends 6 counties, which is basically Stearns, Benton, Wright, Sherburne, Anoka, and Hennepin. Those are the 6 counties that I work, and the 4 field offices that I supervise is Foley, Buffalo, Waite Park, and Elk River. So I hire in all. I'm part of the hiring process for all of those. But like I said, we have positions opening up. So if you're looking for positions, usajobs.gov is where you want to go.
Yeah.
And be looking for them, because they're going to be across the state of Minnesota.
Does that mean you got to travel around to all of these different offices and know what's going on at all these different locales?
Yes, but I have awesome staff, and they kind of keep me posted on what's going on.
Gotcha.
I'm more the issue guy. So if there's an issue,
They come to you.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I basically have to, or will take care of it, so we get it off their plate so they can focus on putting conservation on the ground.
Okay.
So did I get that all covered?
Yeah.
Did he do okay, Dennis?
Yeah,
That's perfect.
I think so.
I left you 3 minutes.
You got a minute and a half maybe.
Okay, so we do have an irrigation clinic coming up Thursday, March 17th. That's going to be over at Benson, and it's going to be at McKinley's in Benson on March 17th. And we've got a lot of great topics we're going to be covering, including the new RCPP irrigation program. That's going to be some special funding for folks that would like to update and improve their irrigation system and also their management. We're going to have folks talking about irrigation strategies for improved corn water productivity and yield, and also Kenny Blumenfeld, the climatologist, will be talking about some of the climate trends we're seeing here in the Midwest. And also we'll have some discussion about managing nitrogen for profitable, environmentally responsible corn production. And with the price of nitrogen fertilizer going through the roof, we want to be as judicious as possible in using that and still maintain a high level of yield. So there's a lot of information that'll be shared. If you're a certified crop advisor, we're going to have 4.5 CEUs, continuing education units, in the soil and water management competency area. It starts at 9 a.m. and should be wrapped up about 3:30. And if you'd like more information, give Holly Kavorik, my counterpart at the Pope SWCD, a call. Or visit their website and just Google Pope SWCD. And their phone number, get ready here for a phone number. This is over at the Pope SWCD, 320-634-5327. Once again, 320-634-5327. And if you didn't get that number and you just want to give our office a call, you can certainly do that. And our phone number is 320-251-7800, extension 3. Thanks a lot. We'll be back online with Brad April 7th, and looking forward to the next show.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Dennis Fuchs, SWCD, Soil and Water Conservation District Administrator, and Chris Hogge, Natural Resources Conservation Service District Conservationist. Minute past 10 o'clock, we've got some news and more coming up.